Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. Klay Thompson is currently struggling in the NBA, his game and production have declined significantly. But some NBA analysts have speculated that if Thompson returns to playing alongside Stephen Curry, he could recover his form and help the Warriors. A possible return to Golden State is not ruled out for Klay Thompson. He will become an unrestricted free agent at the end of next season, just like Curry and Green. The new Mavericks player deserves to make whatever decision he wants for himself. He earned that right, even if it hurts his former team. If the Warriors love him, the best thing was to release him, if that's what he truly wanted. But Klay Thompson will always be a Warrior. Maybe this is the move they need to make. As the Golden State Warriors survey the NBA landscape to see how they can make another title run, perhaps they can look to the past by using Jonathan Kuminga's contract to make a nostalgic swap with the Dallas Mavericks for Klay Thompson. Unlikely? Sure. But this Warriors team is still looking for answers as it sits at 16-15 on the season. The team could use more shooting to help out Stephen Curry who, despite still playing at a high level, cannot carry the team on his back to victory every single game. Warriors should make nostalgic trade to bring back Klay Thompson. The Warriors just saw Thompson on Christmas as the Mavericks visited Chase Center to take on the Warriors. It was not the same Klay who put up 37 points in one quarter at the height of his powers, nor even the same version who helped the Warriors win a championship in 2022 to cement their dynasty. No, this is a different Klay Thompson who now comes off the bench and is not the same potent scoring threat that he once was. But why not try to run it back one more time? There are currently rumors flying around about Golden State exploring a trade with Dallas for Anthony Davis, but that sort of move just doesn't feel right. The Warriors would have to part with either Draymond Green or Jimmy Butler to make a trade like that happen, and those two guys are simply too important to let go for an incredibly injury-prone player. That is why moving Kuminga in exchange for Thompson could make sense for both sides, so long as a third team can get involved to make the money work. The Warriors need shooting, and even if Klay is not the same threat he once was, perhaps playing alongside his fellow Splash brother again could rekindle his high-scoring ways. As for the Mavericks, they have to be thinking about a full-scale rebuild with a record of 12-20 on the year. After trading away Luke Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers and with general manager Nico Harrison, the architect of that deal, being let go, it's probably time to start over and build around Cooper Flagg. Why not add a dynamic young player with upside like Kuminga? Let him play 30 minutes or more per night to see if they have anything special in the 23-year-old who unfortunately has never panned out with the Warriors. Who knows if it would work out, but with head coach Steve Kerr talking about Golden State's fading dynasty, why not bring back one of the key pillars for one final run? Warriors continue to ice breakout player ever since Stephen Curry's return. Shouldn't he be seeing more playing time, TF? The Golden State Warriors dropped yet another heartbreaking game on Sunday that they probably should have won. For the second straight game, breakout player Pat Spencer did not play in a questionable move from head coach Steve Kerr. Spencer stepped up for the Warriors earlier this month and late in November with Stephen Curry injured. The two-way contracted player served as a starting point guard for a number of games and played really well, nearly leading the Dubs to improbable wins over the Oklahoma City Thunder and Philadelphia 76ers before securing actual victories against the Cleveland Cavaliers and Chicago Bulls. Warriors unjustly icing out once red-hot Pat Spencer. Head coach Steve Kerr seemed to recognize that Spencer is indeed the very expletive he declared himself to be as he pounded his chest at midcourt in Philadelphia. Kerr even said that he had to reward Spencer by playing him even when Curry returned from injury. He was true to his word for one game as Spencer played against the Minnesota Timberwolves in Curry's return, but the team lost that game and since then Spencer has only appeared in only 3 games with his most minutes coming against Orlando when he played 12 on December 22. He has not played in either of the team's last 2 games as he rode the bench against the Dallas Mavericks on Christmas, before the same occurrence against the Toronto Raptors on Sunday. It is very easy to second-guess Kerr when the team loses games and point and ask why a certain player did not suit up. Kerr has a lot of mouths to feed and hasn't been able to find a truly consistent lineup or rotation because the team has not been winning consistently enough to warrant a fixed rotation. Kerr and the coaching staff are clearly desperate to find some sort of combination that will stick, but they may be too willing to shake things up after every loss. Spencer seems like he earned playing time at least for the rest of the month after performing like he did while Curry was out. That doesn't mean you have to start him or anything, but maybe getting him in for 10 minutes when Curry is not on the floor isn't the worst idea. It's a long season and Spencer's time will surely come again, but it is unfortunate that he has not been a factor in the last two contests. Warriors quickly come to Anthony Davis' realization after latest trade rumors. NBA insider Chris Haynes sent Golden State Warriors fans into a frenzy on Friday, linking the franchise to all-star big man Anthony Davis in what would be a blockbuster trade. But while the Warriors do seemingly have some level of interest in Davis, they've also reportedly realized that Davis's contract and injury history is certainly cause for hesitation when it comes to trading for the 32-year-old. Warriors uncertain on pursuing Anthony Davis trade. Golden State got a first-hand look at Davis's injury woes on Christmas Day, having seen him exit with a groin issue after only 10 minutes as they recorded a 126-116 victory over the Dallas Mavericks at Chase Center. This latest injury isn't considered serious by any means, but it just adds to the history and could be enough for the Warriors to pause their chase for Davis, as NBA insider Mark Stein revealed on Sunday. Golden State, for starters, has no realistic pathway to acquire Davis unless it is also willing to part with Jimmy Butler or franchise fixture Draymond Green. I'm likewise told that Davis's contract, with potentially 2 years still left on it if the 32-year-old exercises his $62.7 million player option in 2027-28, and the injury woes he has endured since becoming a Maverick have thrust a measure of pause into Golden State's deliberations, Stein wrote. The lure of Davis is understandable given Golden State's underwhelming form, having had their 3-game winning streak snapped with Sunday's loss to the Toronto Raptors that pushes them back to .500 on the season. A healthy version of Davis would add to the Warriors on both ends of the floor. The 10x All-Star is a career 24-point-per-game scorer, while also adding nearly 11 rebounds and 2.3 blocks as one of the best rim protectors in the game. While those numbers may be undeniable, so too is the fact Davis has played more than 56 games only once in the last 6 years. As has proven the case with Dallas this season, Golden State couldn't afford to have Davis on the sidelines for as often as he has been recently. It's also why they shouldn't be trading Jimmy Butler for Davis under almost any circumstance. Imagine the pressure on a nearly 38-year-old Stephen Curry if Davis was his co-star and sitting out half the games. Perhaps the Warriors should consider moving Draymond Green as part of a deal for Davis, but even then the idea of giving up a franchise legend for such a risky trade target might be too much for the front office to ignore. NBA legend offers Jonathan Kuminga escape route, but it could deepen Warriors' troubles. The Warriors' overtime loss screamed for a player like Jonathan Kuminga. However, for a fourth straight game, the athletic forward didn't see the floor. At this point, it's evident that the Warriors and JK may have accepted it's best to part ways. Celtics icon Paul Pierce feels the franchise needs to push for Anthony Davis, rumored to be on their radar. If you can get Anthony Davis for the Golden State Warriors, that's going to shake up the West in some kind of way, said the NBA Hall of Famer on No Fouls Given. Such a trade would likely involve Jonathan Kuminga to meet the Mavericks' demands. With Cooper Flagg assuming the role as the cornerstone, the Mavs are after young counterparts to organically build their team. The Warriors could surely benefit from having AD, especially considering they rank 19th in blocks per game. Furthermore, the team needs some continuity. In 32 games, the Warriors have deployed 15 different starting lineups, largely because Kerr has struggled to find a balance between size and spacing. Davis could also contribute towards their league-worst 42.4 points in the paint. By all those numbers, taking the gamble for Anthony Davis makes all the sense in the world. Even for Jonathan Kuminga, a fresh start could be what he needs. The Mavericks play with relentless energy. A 6'7" dynamic forward could be incredibly useful for Jason Kidd, providing a younger alternative to somebody like PJ Washington. However, the makeup for such a trade also comes with complexities. Anthony Davis makes a lot of money. Furthermore, aside from Kuminga, the Warriors would have to calculate just what they would be sacrificing. The troubles of Warriors pursuing Anthony Davis. The Warriors have established a seasoned core. So, AD being 32 isn't the real issue. But when it comes to consistency, that's where the troubles could brew. Anthony Davis has appeared in just 16 games this season and is currently nursing a minor ailment. His injury troubles could be the reason the Warriors hesitate in making a move of such magnitude. While it would help their team improve, either Jimmy Butler or Draymond Green would certainly have to be included to facilitate such business. Green might get himself penalized, but his availability has never been a concern. With Davis, managing his workload would have to be a burden the Warriors have to assume. But that's not the biggest hurdle. Doing a direct trade is almost certainly improbable since the Mavericks don't appear to want anything on the Warriors' books. I was told that Dallas was not that fascinated with what Golden State has on its books, Chris Haynes reported. While Jonathan Kuminga is a valuable trade chip, the Mavericks' current demands don't have space for Green or Butler. They are aiming towards creating a young roster, with the exception of Kyrie Irving. Hence, the Hawks' Zachary Rizicher and other promising youngsters seem to be appealing to the franchise. If the Warriors crave Anthony Davis, it would certainly be a multi-team trade. Not only are the salary structures complicated, but it would help Dallas recoup young players in exchange for Davis. With nearly 2 weeks until Kuminga becomes eligible for a trade, the Warriors have time to engineer a suitable structure. However, in doing so, they would have to accept the innate risks of housing Anthony Davis. Do you think they should do it? Let us know your views in the comments below. Steve Kerr takes blame for Warriors' turnover-filled loss to Raptors. The good tidings from Christmas have come and gone for the Golden State Warriors as they suffered another loss in the clutch in their 141-127 overtime loss to the Toronto Raptors. Despite getting a 39-point performance from Stephen Curry, his 8th plus 35-point game this season, and despite holding a 12-point lead heading into the fourth quarter, the Warriors sank into their old habits, turning the ball over 20 times. 8 of those turnovers came in the fourth quarter and overtime, including a bad pass from Draymond Green with the Warriors up 3 with a minute left in regulation, which led to a game-tying 3 from Raptors guard Emmanuel Quickley. And in overtime, the Dubs ran out of gas as the younger, faster Toronto team led by Scottie Barnes and his 23 points, 25 rebounds, and 10 assists, outpaced Golden State. After the game, head coach Steve Kerr took the blame for the Warriors' 11th loss in the clutch this season, which drops them to 16-16 on the season. "I've got to get us better organized during those stretches, that's on me," Kerr said, via Sam Gordon of the San Francisco Chronicle. "They turned up the pressure, we didn't handle it well, and they scored 35 points off our turnovers." The loss in Toronto snapped a 3-game winning streak, a stretch in which it looked like the Warriors were on the verge of turning things around. Instead, they blew a comfortable lead while expending precious minutes on veterans with little to show for. Curry played 41 minutes, Jimmy Butler 37, and Draymond Green 33. "It sucks," Kerr continued. "We were on a little bit of a run. Have a chance for some momentum. Controlled the whole game, and then we let it slip. No rest for the weary." In conjunction with the turnover issues, the Raptors destroyed the Warriors on the boards. Toronto outrebounded the Dubs 21-11 in the fourth quarter and overtime, turning those second opportunities into backbreaking buckets for the Warriors. "They got to all the loose balls, the offensive rebounds, extra possessions," Curry said after the game, via Gordon. "We win as a team, we lose as a team. The idea of securing possessions and just getting a shot at the rim, we've all got to figure out how to do that. 20 turnovers isn't going to cut it." The Warriors don't have the luxury of stewing on this loss with the Brooklyn Nets on the horizon in less than 24 hours. But there is the question about whether or not they rest the veterans against one of the worst teams in the league. The Warriors will certainly rest Al Horford as per his no-playing both ends of a back-to-back policy. As for the other Warriors, they'll probably have DeAnthony Melton available as they chose to rest him on the front end of this back-to-back. For Curry, Butler, and Green, their statuses for tomorrow remain somewhat up in the air.